Hi everyone. In today's session, we will discuss about minimization of context-free grammar. Minimization of context-free grammar. We have already discussed, we have completed with our context-free grammar, right? We have derived a string using context-free grammar. We have recognized language, context-free language for a given context-free grammar, and we have drawn parse trees, right? And we have gone through LMD, RMD, then parse trees, and even we have completed with ambiguous grammar, completed with context-free grammar. Now, minimization of context-free grammar. Minimization of context-free grammar. Actually, why we go for minimization? What do you mean by minimization? Reducing something, right? Simplification or minimization. So, why do we go for context-free grammar minimization? Let's see. Actually, why we are going for context-free grammar? Because most of the languages which cannot be represented through regular languages, we are using context-free grammar in order to represent the languages that cannot be represented through regular grammar, right? So, most of the languages, various languages can be effectively represented by context-free grammar. Yes, but all the grammars are not optimized. They are not optimized. That means the grammar may contain some extra symbols. Because of this extra symbols, it will increase the length of the grammar. It will increase the length of the grammar means we are going to get more number of prediction rules. The prediction rules which are not at all required in the grammar, still they exist. Those prediction rules which are not required, that should be simplified, that should be minimized, that should be eliminated. Okay, so minimization of CFG is a process of simplifying or eliminating those extra symbols from the context-free grammar so that we can get minimized equivalent context-free grammar. Okay, now this minimization of context-free grammar, can be done by these three steps: elimination of useless symbols, elimination of epsilon predictions, that means null predictions, and elimination of unit predictions. We will get to know what are useless symbols, when you can say a symbol is useless, and what are epsilon predictions, how to eliminate, what do you mean by unit predictions, how to eliminate, we'll get to know. Okay, so by by eliminating useless symbols, by eliminating epsilon predictions, by eliminating unit predictions, we will obtain minimized context-free grammar, equivalent minimized context-free grammar. So if you want to minimize the context-free grammar, you have to perform all these three steps: elimination of useless symbols, elimination of epsilon predictions, elimination of unit predictions. Now let's go through one by one. Elimination of useless symbols. Elimination of useless symbols. When you can say a symbol is useful and when you can say a symbol is useless. Let's see. A symbol is useful when it appears on the right hand side of the prediction rule and generates some terminal string. When a symbol appears on the right hand side of the prediction and generates some terminal string. Let's see one example to understand it more clearly. For example, let's see this. S producing AB, sorry, ABAA. Terminal A followed by non-terminal B, followed by terminal A, followed by non-terminal A. And then terminal A followed by non-terminal A. These are the predictions of S, start symbol S. Next, non-terminal A producing terminal A followed by non-terminal A, or non-terminal A producing terminal A. These are the given prediction rules present in the context-free grammar. Now observe this. In first rule, we have non-terminal B. Non-terminal B. Now, it is present any prediction rule for B? Means B is not present in the right hand side of any prediction rule. So if a symbol is not present on the right side of the production rule, that is useless. If it presents on the right side, then it is useful. Now B is not present on any of the on right side of any of the production rules, right? So B is a useless symbol. B is a useless symbol as it is not present on the right side of any of its production. So we have to eliminate B. Means we have to remove all the production rules that contains B. That contains B, because B does not produce anything. It is not present on the right side. Means it is not at all producing anything. So it's a useless symbol. So we have to remove. We have to eliminate all the productions that contains B. That contains B. So after eliminating the useless symbol B, the context-free grammar is S producing terminal A followed by non-terminal A, and A producing terminal A followed by non-terminal A, or terminal A. This is the context-free grammar after eliminating the useless symbol B. Okay, and you have to remember one more thing. Even though if it appears on the right hand side of the production rule, it should generate terminal string. It should generate a terminal string, because as I said, a symbol is said to be useful if it appears on the right hand side of a production rule and generates some terminal string. Generate some terminal string. So even if it is appearing on the right hand side, it should produce the terminal string. Now let's see one more example regarding this. Now see this. In this given grammar, go through B, non-terminal B. It is appearing on the right hand side. But B is producing BB. Again, the same thing is getting repeated. BB means B has a production. It is present in the right hand side, but it is not producing the terminal string. It is not producing the terminal string. The same thing is getting repeated, right? B producing BB. B has no terminal at all, means we cannot end with it. Okay, so hence here also B is a useless symbol. So we have to eliminate all the production rules that contains B. After eliminating the useless symbol B, the production rules are S producing terminal A followed by non-terminal A followed by terminal A, and non-terminal A producing small a, terminal A. Okay. In this way, you have to decide whether the given symbol is, whether the symbol of the particular grammar is useful or useless. Okay. A symbol is said to be useful if it is present on right side of the production, right hand side of the production rule, and it generates some terminal string. Okay. Now coming to the elimination of epsilon or null productions. Okay. We already know what do you mean by epsilon prediction. Suppose A producing epsilon is an epsilon prediction. Now how to eliminate these epsilon predictions? Simply replacing the non-terminal symbols that generates epsilon with epsilon in all its prediction rules. Suppose A is producing epsilon means we have to replace A in all prediction rules with epsilon. Wherever that symbol is present, A, in that place you have to keep epsilon in order to eliminate epsilon predictions. Let's see one example so that we can clearly understand how to eliminate the epsilon predictions. Okay. Now let's see this example. AS producing AX, X is producing epsilon. We have an epsilon prediction. X is producing epsilon. So how to do this? Simply replacing the X with epsilon in all of its prediction rules. And then removing this prediction, epsilon prediction, means S producing A epsilon. In place of X, we have replaced it with epsilon. Now by making use of identity rule, that is any expression concatenated with epsilon gives the same expression, right? So S producing A is the grammar obtained after eliminating the epsilon predictions. Okay. Let's go through one more example. Suppose S producing AX or AB, then X producing epsilon or AB or BB. This is the given grammar. Now, in this also you have one epsilon prediction, that is x producing epsilon. It means what? You have to replace the non-terminal x with epsilon in all of its predictions. Wherever x is present, you have to replace it with epsilon. Now, where x is present, s producing ax. In place of x, it is replaced with epsilon. So, s producing a. It has minimized to this. Now, the prediction rules after eliminating the epsilon predictions are S producing A or AX or BB or AB. Next, X producing BB. Why you are not eliminating AX means X is having one epsilon as well as one more prediction. It is having one epsilon prediction and it is even producing some terminal string. So you cannot eliminate it, right? So S producing A, when you have replaced it with epsilon, then AX and then AB. These are the three prediction rules regarding S, and regarding X producing BB. In this way, you have to eliminate the epsilon predictions. Simply by replacing the non-terminal symbol with epsilon. Okay. Now, elimination of unit predictions. What do you mean by unit prediction? Means a non-terminal generating another non-terminal is nothing but a unit prediction. A non-terminal generating or producing another non-terminal is known to be a unit prediction. Now, how to eliminate such predictions? Simply, let's see one example. Let's see this. Now, A producing B and B producing something are the predictions are there. Okay, suppose A producing B, B producing S1 or S2 or Sn, so on Sn. Now simply replace B with all its predictions. Now A producing S1, S2, so on Sn. Okay, because A is producing B and B is producing something, then simply you can say that A is producing that something which is being produced by B, right? So in this way you have to eliminate the unit predictions. Elimination of unit predictions is very simple. Okay, let's go through one example. Suppose S producing AA or AB, then A producing B, B producing small b. Now see here also we have one unit prediction, A producing B, right? So in place of B, just replace it with its predictions. So this is the simplified grammar. S producing terminal A followed by non-terminal A or non-terminal A followed by terminal B, and A is producing one terminal B. So B predictions are replaced in the left hand side of A prediction. In this way, you have to eliminate the unit predictions. Okay, I hope it is very clear. So, in order to minimize the context-free grammar, first you have to eliminate its useless symbols. Then you have to eliminate the epsilon predictions. Then you have to eliminate the unit predictions. If you eliminate all these three, useless symbols, epsilon predictions and unit predictions, then you will be obtaining equivalent and minimized context-free grammar. Okay, thank you.